My name is Paolo Rubini and I'm a photographer originally from Italy. Now presently living in Vancouver since already 3 years and a half. And I've been out of Europe for the last 4. I did some projects in Cuba and then I studied photography in New York before landing in Canada. The whole Canada thing came a bit unexpectedly and here still I am. Canada, after New York, was a place that could grant me a working holiday visa, so an opportunity to come legally and work for a period of time. And I was looking for something like that after a period of traveling between US and Cuba. And I heard of Vancouver from my trips, my travels, and I met people from here. And I had definitely the fame, the notoriety of the city preceded, and so I was aware of what to find here, and I was looking for something different than the East Coast and New York, and Vancouver provided me this very fine balance between good quality of living, environment, nice scenery and landscapes, and yet the vibrant life of a developing city, of a modern city that is growing at a fast pace and is becoming central in the map more and more. My friends for my graduation gave me this point and shoot camera, and that was great. That was essential for me to learn that I had this tool that could serve my purpose in reading the reality, with my personal vision, So I started to take picture, of course, as traveling, and I found that that would be an amazing tool to dig further for expressing my voice. And I always had this passion for traveling and also for storytelling in a way, and I found that photography, communication for providing a message and telling a story, and you can do that in a book, you can do that a podcast, you can do that with a video, you can also do that with a still life picture, a moment taken in time and presented in a proper way, and that's a story right there. It's just visual. This picture, Clinging to You, which I really like, has this a clear sense of composition in it, in my opinion, and that's conveyed by all these lines that you see in the picture, and these two main elements in the foreground and in the background. So there is this ash tree with a roll-up cigarette in it, and this person in the background, which this arm that is in light. And so of course you put together these two elements. When you read a text or when you read an image, that's what you do, even subconsciously you just create a relationship between what you see. And that's why composition is so important, because it has to create a smooth dialogue between elements and object in the picture for you to read. So you're pretty much jumping from one element to another when you're reading a picture, and they have to be placed in the right place. So with this picture, you see this ash tree and this cigarette, and then you see the person in the background, and it's the telling of this relationship that can be conflictual with you and your addiction. It describes a bit the relationship between you and your cigarettes, and again I like the fact that the cigarette is in light and so is the arm, and there is this nice diagonal lines that create some dramatic motion. It's not a motion, it's a still life, but like it definitely helps your eye to jump from one element to the other, so to read properly the picture. Well, what happened with this last exhibition I did, Pulse with Life, I was very moved by my trip, my experience in India. I did a trip there last January, and I definitely had like this big cultural shock, as probably anyone has when they go to India from like a Western country. And what really amazed me was like this fast pace, this energy, this real life happening at every corner in any moment of the day, and so many different people and color and scent and noise, and so the life was out there in full force. And so that definitely like inspired me to kind of convey this feeling of energy and passion that I definitely had in that country. But I didn't want to come up with like a India reportage or just like showing like pictures of India. So I wanted to incorporate this meaning into the technique that lately I like to play with the most, which is long exposures. And so I decided to work on long exposure techniques to convey this sense of passion, energy, emotion. And so that's how Pulse with Life came to life. And so I work with different subjects and ideas and chapters to describe this story. And so it happened. For the collection I did 1 year ago at the seaside, that was more of environmental portrait or project. So I was trying to describe the relationship between different human beings or being, for the matter, in the seaside as an environment, as a space, and see how different people or subject can relate to it, and how the same environment can serve different purposes. And so that was something else. That was more a reportage kind of thing, and I used the black and white, which I like a lot, to kind of like avoid the filters, and that yet again was a different starting point, was a different purpose, was a different idea. But I was inspired by, I guess, attending the beach a lot and doing some trips, and ended up there quite a few times. And Vancouver is surrounded by beaches, so that was like an easy source of inspiration. And yeah, that's how the whole idea came from. I like to play with conceptual. That's another thing I like to do. I like to put in a picture elements that can talk further than what you actually see, and like alert to something else, alert to a bigger meaning. And when I played with the seaside collection, there's one particular that I'm very fond of, and it's called Staring at You. And you see this little baby staring at the horizon, and now there is this woman like lying on the opposite corner of the picture. And I really like this one because of the juxtaposition of the little kid and the older adult, and they're in the opposite part of the beach, and one is looking ahead and the other one is just like lying down. So there's definitely like a talk, like a dialogue between the two elements. And so the younger being is just like standing out and looking ahead, and it could symbolize the childhood and youth and all the life ahead, and the older person just lying and giving the back to the world, to the element. And like those two elements that just opposed in different corners are quite effective in describing like seaside also as an environment, as a landscape to wander and to be in touch with oneself, like a neutral territory where you can feel free to to talk with yourself, if you will, just looking out at the horizon and not feeling claustrophobic in the city or into this big commitment that is our everyday life, and is part of this collection in the seaside. Other picture about people playing or like couple just holding hands on the beach, or like this dog just playing with the sand, and these kids just like run away in the background. But this one is a bit more conceptual for sure, and I like that a lot. I like when a picture can convey more meaning than what it is in the frame.